So the Trick or Treat Warzone event lasts for around the next 8 days or so. This is where players must collect 16 rewards around the Warzone map to get all those rewards plus the bonus Pumpkin Punisher blueprint. But I know some people have been struggling quite a bit with getting certain areas completed, so for example the dam and Superstore amongst other places. So in today's video we'll discuss how to complete the dam area of the Warzone map as fast and easily as possible, because I know it can be quite frustrating as certain areas don't have a ton of supply crates and you get lots of people dropping to one area, which can be quite difficult. So as I said, we'll kind of quickly go over the main supply crate locations at dam and then discuss the best approach and strategy for getting this done as best as possible without it being too rage inducing. I'll also throw in some quick tips to get the challenge done faster at dam, but if you want a more in-depth guide with all the trick or treat reward locations around the whole map and a bunch of really great tips for completing it easily, you know, the whole trick or treat event, I recently made a video on that as a whole guide for completing it. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a card on screen and I'll have a link in the description for that video. And I also made a video on the Superstore location, so if you need help with that as well, because that can also be quite difficult, then check out that video. I'll have a card on screen for that as well. Finally, before we get into the video, I'm also doing a COD Points Giveaway for the Season 6 Battle Pass, which you can put towards the new Halloween bundle or anything else in the store, or even the Battle Pass itself. If you're interested in that giveaway, there's rules in the description, so check that out, and I'll have a card on screen for the video for that giveaway. Cheers guys, and let's get into this guide. So as I said, for this challenge you need to find all 16 rewards around Verdansk for this trick or treat event, and obviously once you do that you can unlock the bonus blueprint. So what you need to do is find crates throughout Verdansk that you can open, and there's a chance you'll find one of the rewards within the supply crates or loot boxes. Crates that count release confetti or are on fire. If they're on fire, that means they've actually unlocked that reward for that area and the area is complete. But ones that don't count will just release a little bit of smoke. There's no confetti, there's no fire, and that means you're too far away from the area. So for example the dam, there's buildings near it but a bit further away, so you need to avoid those because they'll just release smoke from the crate, and that means they don't count towards this challenge and that you're not going to find a reward in that crate. For dam, obviously when you complete this you'll get the time of the season watch, which is a pretty cool holographic 3D watch with bats around it, so it looks pretty cool. And for dam there are a few crates or places to go for, but the exact locations of the crates differ slightly from game to game. The parts of the dam that are important for getting these supply crates and getting the rewards are mainly the buildings to the lower left of the dam, the main building of the dam itself, which I'll show you, the house to the right, and then the parts directly built into and like directly under the dam, and then finally the area on top of the dam with like the fire station and the house as well. So those are the main areas you need to go to. There may be others, but those are the only ones I could find that could count. You want to avoid other areas as they will not count. So let's go through those quickly and then we'll talk about the strategy for doing it and then some tips. So first of all, we've got the long building to the left of dam with it's got like a partition wall down the middle of it, so it's split into two sides. There's normally one crate in there. You can then hop over the wall, and then behind it there's another hut to the side. It's a very small building. There's sometimes a crate in there as well, and obviously less people will go in there, so if you're stuck for crates it might be worth having a look in there. It seems that any of the buildings that are behind these, because there's some close by, it seems like they don't count. I couldn't get them to count, so it's probably not worth going there. You need to focus on other areas of dam, as we'll talk about. In the main building, which is kind of that big building below the dam, there are quite a few possible spawn locations. So for example, next to the staircase on the ground floor, you've also got to the right of there but behind the generators on the ground floor. There's probably other locations on the ground floor as well in that building. Upstairs you've normally got one when you come out of the staircase, turn left, there's one in the corner there, and then there'll also be one straight ahead if you run round the corridor, and then to the right there'll be one there sometimes, and then there can also be some on the roof as well, which you'll need to go outside for. There is also a house to the right of the main building. This can have 1 to 2 supply boxes in them normally. Sometimes you have one upstairs and one downstairs as well. Other times it will just be one or the other, but it's definitely worth going to because sometimes you can need as little as just 1 crate to open and it will count. Other times you'll need to get 2 or 3 or 4 even. Normally it's about 3 on average crates you'll need to get, but it can be more, it can be less. So that house is quite good to go to because not as many people go there, although if anyone else is going there it's obviously not worth going to it. Now when you go into the building that's directly under the dam, there is one near the desk at the left entrance. You'll see this is where the ghosts are. They keep popping up there, and there's also blood from the floor and ceiling there, so that's how you know where it is. And then if you go along that corridor, turn left and run along that corridor, there'll be a crate there. You can then get that one, and then if you go further on around to the right, it'll bring you to the area that's got the vertical zip line that you can ascend to get to the top part of dam. Now at the top of dam there are a few buildings that have loot boxes in them, so this would be mainly the house near the edge of the cliff or the edge of the dam. That has 1 or more crates in it normally, so it's worth going in there. And then also behind that you've got a fire station right next to it, and this normally have several crates in it. So for example, the back room will have one, the upstairs area with the fire poles going down will have one normally, and then the watchtower often has one as well, so it's worth going to the fire station. It could be quite a good location, although more and more people are starting to notice that, and so you need to be careful and get it as soon as really if you're going there. Okay, so those are the main locations for the supply crates, but what about the actual strategy? How do we go about doing it, and what are the best tips? So the best mode is probably plunder, because you have immediate custom loadouts, infinite respawns, and there's no gas or circle closing, and that would be ideally the best mode. But recently a lot more people have been doing this challenge, and obviously the areas like Superstore and Dam are much more busy, and so it makes it less less easy for people to get the crates, and so even more people go to those areas. So if you find that it's really oversubscribed and too many people go into those areas in Plunder, it might be worth going to other modes such as the normal BR or the Zombie Royale mode or the Juggernaut mode, because these generally have more people trying to survive and actually play Battle Royale and less people going to find the crates. So try switching between these modes and see what works best for you. I was able to do some in the normal Battle Royale mode, but also like the Juggernaut mode as well, and then Plunder's worked as well, but like I say, it's become more busy recently. So try switching different modes, see which works best for you, because it might actually be better going into normal Battle Royale even though you have a limited number of lives. If there are many people in the area of Dam, then it may be worth laying low temporarily until a few players kill each other off. So for example, going to the less popular parts of the Dam first, such as the area to the left with those two buildings there, or the top part of Dam maybe, so something a little bit less busy. Wait for a few people to kill each other, get some crates, and then go to those more popular areas, because sometimes crates will have been left because people have killed each other and they've not had time to pick up crates and so on and so forth. But ideally you want to just rush to get as many crates as you can. But obviously this all depends on the game mode and how busy it is and stuff like that. You just got to base it off your situation. So in terms of the strategy where to start off, I recommend when you start the match that you drop into that main building if you're the first person there and it's not very busy, because you can grab quite a few crates in there, and then you can move to the other buildings that are not so busy because less people will go there. So for example, the buildings to the left, or you could go to the house to the right, and then you can go into the building below the dam. I'd recommend going there next after those, and then see if there's any crates there, and otherwise go to the zip line, ascend to the top of the dam, and then go to the fire station and the house. There may still be some there. So that's the kind of route I'd take through the dam, but obviously you can adjust that depending on where people are. If you see lots of people in one area, then obviously avoid that. It just depends on the playstyle, but that'll be my recommended route ideally. You'll only probably have to do it a few times and you'll be able to get it done. I know people have been struggling, but if you go to these places, it should be a little bit easier to do. You need to listen out for the humming noise of unopened supply drops as well. If you hear this noise, it means a supply drop in the area has not been opened. You need to follow that noise to find them. Again, in my main Halloween trick-or-treat event guide, I talked about how to adjust your sound settings to hear the supply crates a little bit better. So you need help with that, check out the card on screen, but you just need to follow the noise to find those supply crates. And if the flight path is near or it's like over the dam directly, it's likely it's going to get a lot more busy. And normally it's quite busy anyway, but obviously if the flight path is over, it's going to be more busy. So you need to try to go to other areas first if that's the case, or if it looks like a lot of people going to the area, it's worth maybe trying, but if you think it's not worth it, then just back out and go into another lobby. You need to get to the dam as soon as it spawns, obviously. You need to drop out of the plane at the point where it's closest to the dam. So if you set a waypoint, it will tell you how many meters away from it you are, and at a certain point it will get closer and closer and closer, and then it will stop going down and it will start to go up. At that point, you need to drop out the plane, keep using the parachute to glide over, and then dropping down and parachute and dropping down. Get there as fast as possible, and hopefully you'll be able to get some crates. Now, if you die and you can't respawn, or it will take a while to, or it seems like all the crates are gone, it's best either to try a different area that you need to complete, or if you've done them all and this is the last one, just quit the match, like I say, and join another lobby. So that's the main strategy. I've got a quick class setup as well to suggest to you guys, so let's go through that. For the primary, because this is quite a close quarters combat area, it might be worth putting on something like an SMG, like the MP5 or something like that, or a shotgun with Dragon's Breath, and if you put on a few good attachments that increase range and so forth, you can normally down players in 1 to 2 shots with that Dragon's Breath shotgun. So that's very good. Check out some classes for that, or put on the attachments you want to, but weapons like that would probably be good for this area. For the perks, I'd recommend putting on something like Double Time in perk 1. This doubles the duration of tactical sprint, so you can run faster towards the crates if you need to when you're on the ground. There'll be a bit of running between areas, so this will help with that. And also, I'd put on Ghost in the second perk. This makes you undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors, so you stay off the radar for enemies. And in the third perk, I'd put on Tune Up, so you can reduce the charge time of field upgrades by 40%, so you can earn your field upgrade faster, which we'll talk about in just a second. For the equipment, I'd put on a C4 for the lethal, so you can kill any enemies if you need to. And then for the tactical, I'd put on the stim shot, so you can heal yourself if you're injured. For the field upgrades, I'd put on Dead Silence, because this gives you quiet footsteps and you can run faster towards the crates, like I say. Obviously, you guys know why it's important to run faster towards these crates, but the reason why it's important that it makes you quiet as well is because it makes the peripheral sounds like footsteps and gunfire and explosions, it makes them more muffled, meaning that the humming noise of supply drops can easily be heard over everything else, and so it's easier to find them if there's one in the area compared to otherwise you'd have, like say, explosions, gunfire, running about, you can hear your own footsteps. It's very off-putting, you can't really hear it as well, whereas with this, it muffles everything else and you can just hear certain sounds like the supply drops, and it makes them a lot easier to find them. So that's the main guide, the main strategy, they're the main locations and the best way to go about it. As mentioned, if you need a much more detailed guide, there's a card on screen for that and a link in the description for the video covering the best way to complete all the trick-or-treat locations in Warzone, and I've also covered the Superstore region as well if you need help with that. I've also made a video showcasing the SAW bundle in Modern Warfare and Warzone and whether this is worth the money and helping you guys to get bundles a little bit cheaper, so if you're interested in seeing that or you're thinking of buying a bundle, go and check that out, it'd be very useful, and feel free to enter my giveaway to be in with a chance of winning some COD points towards any item in the store, such as the new Halloween bundles. Finally, if you need to check out out any challenge guides for unlocking any of the DLC weapons, such as the Jack 12 I did recently. I have lots of those on my channel, so be sure to check them out. There'll be a playlist in the description again and a card on screen. But cheers for watching, hope you found it useful. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, it really helps me out, and feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any upcoming Modern Warfare, Warzone or Black Ops Cold War videos. But cheers for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next video.